What is up, YouTube? It's Josh. This is the Den of Nerds. This video is going to be all about Thor Ragnarok, some images that have been dropping online, and what it all means for the film. So let's get right into it. So basically, I want to start with these crazy pictures of Odin walking around on the streets, looking derelict, kind of looking like a bum. And this is really interesting for a number of different reasons. Now, if you remember back to Thor the Dark World, at the end of that film, Loki is actually sitting on the throne of Asgard pretending to be Odin, but he is obviously not Odin. And I know a lot of people were like, well, wow, that must mean that Loki killed Odin or got rid of Odin. He definitely didn't kill him. I mean, he, in his own sick, twisted way, Loki actually loves Odin. In fact, most of his character arc in the first two films is wanting approval and love from his father. So he basically must have cast him out. Now, there's this really old trope when it comes to these sort of movies with fantasy and with basically just old stories in general, where a person of power will be kicked or taken out of their power, and then they forget who they are. They're either a spell is put on them so that they forget who they are, or they just forget who they are of natural reasons. I believe Oedipus even had this situation going on where he forgot who he was, but I'm not entirely sure about that. Need to get a little bit better on my Greek mythology, but we're on Norse mythology. So this actually happened in the comic book with Thor. Thor gets cast out and forgets who he is. He actually just becomes like a human doctor, and he goes through this arc of discovering that he is Thor. So there's like a version of that story done in the comic book as well. So that's kind of what I think is happening here. I believe that Anthony Hopkins is playing Thor, but he is just on Earth thinking he is a normal person, and has some kind of really crazy spell put over him. Now, there's another image that is basically blowing the internet up, and it's blowing my mind. This image dropped a couple days ago, and it literally has Thor holding a little piece of paper that has a very special address on it. That address is to the Sanctum Sanctorum, where our good friend Dr. Stephen Strange resides in Manhattan. So very interesting. It appears from the photos that Thor and Loki are there in New York trying to find Doctor Strange. Okay, so they've got this address. It would make sense that Loki would be there, because you can't just find the Sanctum Sanctorum if you don't know that it exists. I don't even think you can see it. So perhaps Loki is able to find the Sanctum Sanctorum. He has the address to it, and then Loki's able to use his magic to peel back the spell and find the actual Sanctorum. And I know a lot of people, including myself, have really wanted to see a Loki and Doctor Strange kind of meet up there, because they're both, of course, really powerful magic users. It's going to be really interesting to see what kind of a power level they give to Doctor Strange in the cinematic universe. As I was saying in some of my other videos, this dude's like super powerful. He's like super strong. So it's going to be really interesting to see if they play that up or if they take that down. Perhaps the Eye of Agamotto is just this relic that's so powerful that both Thor and Loki need it. And basically, given all of these images, here's what I think is going on, okay? I believe that bad things are a brewing, that Ragnarok is coming, Surtur's coming, all of these bad things are coming. In fact, it's possible that Surtur comes and just usurps the throne from Loki, or something similar. There was another arc with a brother of Odin that comes back and claims that he's the rightful ruler of Asgard. And we could see a version of this going on. But here's what I think's happening. Basically, shit's about to hit the fan. It's gonna be really bad for everybody. And Loki realizes that he needs the Allfather. He needs Odin. And so he's trying to find him. But perhaps the spell that he put on him was so strong that he literally has no idea where this dude is. I'm assuming Heimdall's been compromised, or maybe at this point Heimdall will not help Loki, or something similar to that effect. And so I see that Loki will find Thor on Earth, and then they go searching for Odin, and they would need Doctor Strange's help. Doctor Strange would be able to locate him, or give them a clue or something. Using the Eye of Agamotto, he should be able to find him like no problem whatsoever. Some people were thinking that this is a post-credit scene, but I really don't think so. I think it's going to be more along the lines of like when Falcon was in Ant-Man, like it's in the middle of the movie. It's more like a cameo. And I think that this is going to be kind of more of the pattern to share these movies. I think it's being successful. I think that this is the way that it's going to go. So basically, that's kind of all the information that's been dropping. Those are my thoughts on it. Let me know in the comment section, like, what do you think of a possible Loki Doctor Strange meetup? Do you think that sounds awesome? Why do you think Loki and Thor are on Earth in plain clothes? And what's up with the homeless Odin? Like, what do you think's going on with Anthony Hopkins wandering around like a derelict in New York? Like, what do you think is going on? Oh, and by the way, it would appear that this New Zealand guy, the guy that basically Thor has been hanging out with, because they did this like little, like, I don't know if it's not a short film, but they did this like kind of story of where Thor has been. I believe it's going to end up being in the Civil War bonus features, but it basically explains, and they put up like pictures and stuff online, that he's just been living with some dude in New Zealand. They play Connect 4. Thor's trying to figure out who Thanos is. He's trying to figure out what's going on with that vision that he had in Age of Ultron, and it would appear that this dude is actually going to be in the movie too. On another side note, I've heard, and I'm going to finish the video, I know I have some crazy ideas here, but I've heard that this movie's going to be really, really funny. That's what Mark Ruffalo's been saying, that it's almost like a buddy cop kind of vibe to it, which should be really, really cool. I also hope that it goes all over the place, right? That like we start in Asgard, we go to Earth, then we have to go somewhere else. Like, it'd be cool if like Odin came back and was like, you got to go do this thing or something, you know, or even cast them out or something like that. But yeah, so give me your thoughts on these crazy things. What do you think is going on? Always happy to have a discussion about this in the comment section below. Now, let's check that nerd card. The question is going to be about that brother that I mentioned earlier in this video. What is the name of this brother that comes back in the comics claiming to have the rightful, the right to rule Asgard? He's the rightful ruler according to him. What was the name of that character, and what was the name of the crossover event that was started because of the resurgence of this character? It was really, really cool in the comics. They had like Asgardian weapons for everybody. Like Iron Man got an Asgardian suit, which is like super dope. Spider-Man got this like Asgardian kind of thing going on with these Asgardian claws and this armor. Wolverine had Asgardian claws. It was a really, really cool series. Oh, and Dracula and the Hulk. Oh my god, that series was dope. But anyways, what was the name of that guy, and what was the name of that comic? Answer the question in the comment section below. Like the video if you like videos like this. I'm going to try to keep up to speed with all these crazy things that are going on and kind of give you my thoughts about them. And be sure to subscribe to the channel. I do a ton of content when it comes to comic books, when it comes to comic book movies, and when it comes to Star Wars and anime. I got to get more Dragon Ball Super stuff going on because that show's been like super dope lately. But anyways, as I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and nerdy day. See ya!